And here we are in our final round. Once again, a congratulations to all of our top players: Marcus, Dustin, Tanner, Johnny, our top four here in this event. Johnny and Tanner taking down their semifinal top 10 group matches in order to secure their place in the finals, while Dustin and Marcus got to take a little bit of extra time off, being rewarded for their stellar play in Swiss Actual. So we're going to see how this plays out here. Our seat 1, Marcus. Seat 2, Dustin. Seat 3, Tanner. Seat 4, Johnny. That's the way we square up here at the start. Once again, this is the finals here at MindBreak Magic cEDH event. Take 2 Electric Boogaloo at the Ript Zone in Milledgeville, Georgia. So thank you to everybody who has watched, everybody who has been here, making this a great event today. And we hope to bring you a great final match. Finishing some mulligans here for one of our players, Johnny, in seat 4. Again, this will go clockwise. It will start in the top left, Marcus. That will be our seat 1. Looks like that's it. We're going to start the game. Here comes a Roger. Here comes a Shockland. Here comes a Dork. And that'll be a pass of the turn. Llanowar Elves. It's probably the Dork. I've never seen that art, but I mean, dorks are dorks. So Marcus on Rog Thras will have a pretty strong turn 1. We'll pass on over to Dustin on Kefka. Again, these two players have been on camera a number of times here, so we'll see what showing they got. The only person that hasn't been on camera yet has been Tanner in seat number 3. Dustin will finish off his turn number 1 with Fetch into Underground Sea, Mana Vault Pass. Looks like Tanner will go to his turn. We'll take a Fetch with Windswept Heath. Potentially. We'll see what the play is here. So Tanner has not been on camera yet. Tanner is on a Redshift. Rocketeer Chief, red and a green, 2 CMC for a legendary creature, Goblin Pilot, a 2/3 with Vigilance. Tap, add X mana of any one color where X is Redshift's power. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Has an exhaust of 10 red-green. Put any number of permanent cards from your hand into play. So the Windswept Heath will fetch up a Taiga. We'll see what the play is here. So the ability to potentially untap this Redshift, dump it into Walking Ballista. That's sort of the game plan here. We're going to play Chaos Emerald, which is Lotus Petal. Pretty sure about that one. And it'll be Birds of Paradise to follow up. We'll pass. So pass on over to Johnny. Rog Ishai. If you were watching our semi-final game, or you'd like to watch it on YouTube, feel free to go back and watch how Johnny bought his way, made his way with some stellar gameplay into the finals. That'll be a Marsh Flats fetch for something, but the rest of the cards are 0 drops, so it'll be a Roger, a Mox Amber, Paradise Mantle. Paradise Mantle will equip itself to the Roger. We'll pass back on over to turn 2. First turn 2 of the turn 2 turn cycle on Rog Thras. Marcus will play an Otawara as land for turn. See what the follow-up is here. A lot of varied game plans here as we'll pass on over to Dustin on Kefka. Very varied game plans, a handful of control elements of the table, a handful of combo elements of the table, so a lot to do. Looks like prior to the fetch, in response to the fetch, it will be a Washi Tong Librarian. Blue for blue and X equals 0 here for a 1/1 that will get a counter and will draw Marcus a card once Dustin finishes shuffling his library. Library Shuffle will be courtesy of a fetch land into a volcanic island. Marcus will draw the card here. Let's see what Dustin wants to do with the rest of his turn. Here's 2 mana. Hexing Squelcher. That is very strong play, especially if we want to start rolling up into a turn 3 Kefka. And that'll just be the turn from Dustin. We'll pass on over to Tanner, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the 3rd turn of the turn 2 turn cycle. Then we'll untap and play a land. See where to go from here. Honestly, couldn't tell you what that land is. Could be a Spire Garden. It's the commander untap land. That's my guess. We'll play yellow card. Thank you. That's got to be Redshift. So, Redshift will come into play. Again, a 2/3 with Vigilance. Activate the ability of tap it, add X mana of any one color, where X is this creature's power. Sylvan Library, the follow-up. Using the Lotus Petal mana, and that'll be a pass of the turn. Over to Johnny. Johnny will draw. Play a City of Traders for turn. Big COT. Mox Amber for red. We'll potentially Jessica's Will. Seeing who has the most amount of cards in hand. Those looks like that'll be the case here. Already very strong. Let's kind of turn it up, see what our players are saying here. Oh, 2 lands and an Enlightened Tutor. So an Idyllic Tutor being cast, notably not revealed from the Jessica's Will.
I'm going to use 2 red and this blue. I'm going to cast that Ristic Study.
After you start your sand drop first?
You can't drop this. I know everyone wants to go home.
No, it's just, I could get a counter.
Ristic Study on the stack. It is on the stack. Now it's stuck.
So searching with Enlightened Tutor was fine from the table, using some of the floating mana from Jessica's Will. Tutored up a Ristic Study. Looks like nobody had any responses. So Ristic Study will be in play here. Wooded Foothills was played off of the... Oh, correct. Yeah, they are right. That City of Traders was played as land for turn.
I did play my City of Traders. Okay. Hey, my bad. I thought it was turn 3. Okay, cool. That's my bad. It's tapped. Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, I'm not tripping.
It's alright. This game is very difficult. There's a lot of cards, a lot of words, a lot of interactions here. So, no worries here. Our players were able to handle it themselves and make sure everybody's on the same page with the City of Traders being in play. And we'll pass on over to the first turn 3 of the turn 3 turn cycle. On over to Marcus on Rog Thras. Here comes 2 mana. Vibrance. Looks like green. Vibrance evoked, and I complimented the inclusion of Vibrance in an earlier match. Vibrance is, in my opinion, a very stellar card in this list. It does everything you want it to do.
I mean, you can't stop it. I mean, you could, but I mean, I'm not going to say what he can't do, but I'm assuming it keeps you locked out of the game.
I am pulling this one.
I'll give him all. That's what I would like to offer.
And looks like potentially waiting on the Ristic Study draw. No, it looks like that actually resolved, in fact. So. So the card drawn off the Ristic, Vibrance was good to resolve, so it will search up a land. Unknown if that's a basic forest still from round 1. I'm still having this question.
I can then cast Theracios and pay for it.
Could be a Dryad Arbor, I have no way of knowing. It doesn't have a text box though, or a PT box. So, making sure everything's good here with our players. Oh, looks like that's a Gaia's Cradle.
I'll make 4 green.
Glad we turned our our players up so I can hear them. Gaia's Cradle will make 4 green mana. Let's see what we want to do here. Leaving 3 in the pool. Cast Theracios. Pay the 1 that's 2 in the pool left. Mana Vault plus the green for paying for Ristic Study. So, very strong turn from Marcus on Rog Thras. Very, very strong. A lot of playing to the board here. And let's see if Dustin wants to Windmill Slam this Kefka. Steam Vent shocked in. Looks like Cursed Totem. Another kneecap to Marcus's deck. Once again, the Cursed Totem has appeared on the board of Kefka on camera. Creatures are not able to activate abilities requiring activation cost. It turns off Redshift in play. Turns off Thracios in play. Turns off the Llanowar Elves. I mean, it does so much. I mean, Marcus does have the Gaia's Cradle right now, so there's only so much you can do with it. But, I mean, wow. It's just such a strong play. I can imagine that Dustin was convinced to keep off of the strength of the Cursed Totem if that was in the opener. Here's 8 life as we'll pass on over to Tanner on Redshift. And some land, who knows what that is. Stupid SpongeBob land, who cares? Probably Command Tower. And we'll pass on over to Tanner on Redshift. They will pay the 8 life to keep all 3 cards off the top of Sylvan Library. Gonna have to rethink the turn. Can't tap that Birds of Paradise. Talisman. 2 mana plus the 1 for Ristic Study. Let's listen to our players. Seems like a little bit of talking here. Looks like it's just a pass the turn after that Talisman. And we'll go back over to Johnny. That Roger should not be able to tap for mana due to the Cursed Totem, but we'll see if we can get that down to our players in time. But able to cast the Ishai regardless. Actually, that's not true. Not able to cast Ishai regardless, so let's hope that doesn't make an impact here. We'll pass on over to Marcus on Rog Thras, the first turn 4 of the turn cycle. That'll be a Flesh Duplicate. Let's see if the Ristic will be paid here. And just waiting to decide. See if the 1 wants to be paid.
I'll pay for what? I have a question. Is that an activated ability?
So just talking to the judge here about maybe something away from the table, which is fine. Once again, Magic at a high level can be very difficult. There's a lot of cards, a lot of interactions. We don't necessarily blame our players for any sort of ill intent. We just want to make sure that everyone does understand the interactions in play, how the cards in hand work, and just have a good time. So we're glad that our players are comfortable enough talking to our judges here, our TO, making sure that everyone kind of understands what's going on at the table. So definitely no shame in calling a judge. And if you yourself are ever in that situation, just call a judge and talk to them and see if we can't come to an agreement here. So it looks like the Gaia's Cradle will be paying, so that's 4 mana total with the flush duplicate on the stack. So 3 green left, and that flush duplicate will come in as a Hexing Sculpture. 3 green to disguise a card. Okay, gotta look at the deck list. That's awesome. Big fan. Looks like the 1 off of Emergent Zone likely to pay for the Ristic here. What can you disguise?
Because if you got a Ristic top of it, then you wouldn't. Oh, yeah, I'll pass the turn.
It's a land. It's a land. Branch of V2 Ghazi. Disguise for 3. When Branch is turned face up, add 2 mana of any one color. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Oh, so it'll be a cast Kefka here. So remember, Kefka was not cast last turn. It was the Curse Totem in play, but it will be cast this turn. So Kefka trigger on the stag. See if everybody wants to do. There looks like land, snap back, land. Wow, that's good. That was really good for the players. Opposite Kefka. Only 2 cards drawn. Could have been much, much worse. And Dustin will pass the turn over to Tanner. Once again on a red shift. Sylvan Library trigger during the draw step. So let's see what the case is here. Again, very interested in this red shift deck. Especially coming all the way to the finals. It is very, very strong showing for this deck. A couple of Blood Rush creatures in the deck in order to buff the power. Cards like Scale Up. Once again, effectively buffing power in order to continue to make a bunch of mana. Looks like 2 cards will be kept and 1 back on top. I'm trying to see if there's any way to untap the redshift. I mean, there's Seeker of Skybreak, Sweet Popper card. I don't see anything else, so a little reliant on getting that out, although there is stuff like Imperial Recruiter able to grab that card. Dusk Watch Recruiter activated ability will also be able to grab that card, so looks like it'll just be a land for turn and a pass. Looks like that might be Wooded Foothills from the Zendikar 3 set. I think they already played a Wooded Foothills, so I'm not too sure. Could be like Cinderglade or something. But just to pass the turn over to Johnny on Rog Ishai. So here's 2 mana being used, and that's an Underworld Breach. Well, let's listen to our players. See what's going on.
1, 2, 3. Exile snapback. Justice will march flats. I will cast Idyllic Tutor.
So that breach will resolve. Idyllic Tutor to search for an enchantment on the stack.
Because of curse totem. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, there goes the breach. Do it. Does that mean you cannot cast this card?
Yeah, I think that's fair to let the Idyllic Tutor come back in the graveyard as well as all the cards in exile because it was just not able to be cast. That was an illegal play that happened, so our players caught that.
What are those three exile? Oh, you should have nothing exile. Yeah, there were 2 lands and a.
Yeah. So everyone's on the same page. Everyone's tracking. Maybe a snapback cast here potentially. For what is the question?
I mean, I'm talking about what it's hard to take creature.
There's a Hexing Squelcher on 2 tables.
It's got ward.
I mean, he can just pay 2
There's
lands.
ward from Hex's Squelcher. I know, I'm just lending it.
I'll pay 3 life. 2 life. I'll pay the 2 life.
So the ward on Kefka. Fierce Guardianship shown. Ristic Study draw. Ishai should grab an extra counter.
Instep breach will die. Is that correct?
And step breach will go away. Oh, unfortunate some circumstance. Again, we mentioned that on the last turn cycle that Curse Totem was in play, kind of nerfing the ability of Paradise Mantle on Roger.
I don't think I'm killing you with Ishai, so.
And we'll pass on over to Marcus, our Rog Thrash player in the top left-hand corner of your screen. This is the start of the turn 5 turn cycle. Here's a Flooded Strand. Let's see what other cards here. Again, that face-down card is the Land with Disguise, branch of Vitu Ghazi, I believe is how you would say that. When it's flipped face up for 3 mana, you make 2 mana of any one color. That a branch is a good way to filter the Gaia's Cradle mana. And if you have a bunch of green, you need to have a bunch of blue. Or red. I guess Roger is in the list, although not a whole lot of red cards here. A lot of interactive red cards. Not a whole lot of win the game red cards, so we'll see how our players want to continue. That Flooded Strand will go grab a Volcanic Island into play, so finally red mana on the board. Plus additional blue mana.
Yeah, big dog. I don't need to do anything.
You play Pokemon?
Huh?
You ever play Pokemon?
For like 2 weeks.
Looks like might be just a pass of the turn here. Maybe even getting in there with a Washi Tong. Can't see. Maybe a Mockingbird in the hand is one of those cards. It's a little hard to see, but
I mean, I tried to do it with Kefka.
Not you. Dealing with it is not balanced.
He can't be casting, is what I'm saying. Off would have been able to recast it, that's why he.
once again, our players started talking about how they want to interact with the board state here. As we talked about in our top 10 semifinal match,
I did not cast a spell now. I played land.
as we talked in our top 10 semifinal match, as the turn gets passed over to Dustin on Kefka, he'll untap and draw. A lot more talking here in the top cut games, which is a little bit to be expected. Once again, you either love it or you hate it from the format, but it is something very, very integral to our format. But it does make sense, right? All the players want to make sure they are getting the best bang for their buck with their plays. Looks like it'll be 4 cards, so land, artifact, creature. It looks like that might be a Blood Rush creature from Tanner. So 3 cards drawn from Kefka. As it was, that is a Rubble Belt Maka, Maaka. I'm locked in, don't worry. Which also leads me to believe, from Tanner's standpoint, the redshift player in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, that there is another buff in the hand.
Right, definitely.
Gamble in hand from Dustin being cast. Ristic Study trigger, Ishai trigger.
I'll change to chain of vapor. The cursed totem.
Chain of Vapor targeting Cursed Totem here. Mental Misstep targeting Chain of Vapor. Very tense standoff for our players.
I mean, you could. I'm welcoming for you to try.
Oh, true. Hexing Sculpture is the flesh duplicate. Now that Chain of Vapor is uncounterable from the Hexing Sculpture copy, which is flesh duplicate on the table.
My trigger. My trigger.
Cursed totem.
I have triggers first. Risk is a game to
I don't give a shit about that.
Are you paying for
Am I paying for
So it looks like the... I'm going to see if that Ristic Study is paid for off of the Chain of Vapor.
go down to 1, this will go to 5, this will go to 1, I'm going to draw.
Looks like it was not paid.
And then a chain of vapor on top of yours.
So Chain of Vapor now targeting the Cursed Totem.
Okay, I have a Ristic trigger and
Not continuing the chain, so now Ristic and Ishai on top of Gamble.
5, this will be gone. I'll draw.
And card draw on Gamble. Last card on the stack.
Like then with the gamble on the stack. I'd like to
6 mana. 6 green from the Guy's Cradle. That's that altered looking forest in the bottom or top left hand corner of the screen.
I'll look at that.
Looks like Thrasios activation for 4. So 2 mana left in the pool. We'll scry 1, reveal it. Looks like scry to the bottom and reveal.
And I'll reveal fantastic.
Phantasmal Image, the reveal. So Gamble still left on the stack. Looks like nobody has response to the Gamble here.
Y'all are chilling. I'm on breach for fucking tutor. Just played that one up.
I mean, if you could never cast it, it should still be in your graveyard. You could never cast it.
Well, I'm good.
Toxic Deluge. After you finish searching, can I go?
And looks like that Washi Tong will get another draw trigger.
Come on, Toxic Day, come on, Christian. Come on, Christian.
I'd like us to pay. Say the
We'll see what gets discarded. Again, the Gamble cycled itself out for another card. Cursed Totem was returned to the hand, so a lot of cards in the hand right now. See if we're going to find a D10 potentially.
7. The 7.
8 will be the card discarded. Mental Misstep. Card that we knew was there, so it was not the gambled card. Let's see what Dustin would like to do on his turn. Again, this is the second turn 4 of the turn 4 turn cycle. Lotus Petal not paying the 1, so Ishai plus draw from Ristic Study. That's a big bird over there in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Our players will definitely have to keep their eye out for it, as well as Washi Tong, which is getting pretty big itself up in the top left. Demonic Consultation now. Let's hear our players. Name Ancient Tomb.
It's a reverse Thassa's.
Thassa's Oracle. Ristic Study Draw. Ishai. Ishai's not a creature.
I can't do anything. Actually, well, I can do a few things. Do you have anything to stop? Possible?
MindBreak trap will stop this.
Yeah, my bird would. Because I can get rid of Sculpture first.
Alright, let me see what I can do. Okay? Well, really, to be honest, I'm with you on this. It ain't really on us.
Yeah,
It's on the person who drew a bajillion cards.
It's him.
I mean, he cannot do it, but he just said he can get rid of the sculpture.
But even then, I still don't have a spell.
Okay, I'll make 4 colors, or 3 colors. I'll use all 3 and 1 green.
I did try to
So
solve this.
Johnny without a spell to deal with this, he says.
I have not responded.
That's like, I can put a Thracios on the stack. But he can't fight me.
Yeah.
Looks like another Thracios activation here.
Nobody wanted to advance.
Remember we had that conversation about
Just trying to listen to our players.
Technically, Noxious Survival would work if you both had it and you really stopped it, but this counts on one blue.
That's if we had it.
That's if you had it.
That's not GG's yet.
Because he can cast a spell, I can draw.
I can do something against Sculpture. I just need to know if you have something.
Yes.
Force of negation revealed.
Oh my god, there's so many cards. So far, it was a bad.
So known force of negation in the hand.
People like Chalkster Quad who tell them not to print the card in the first place.
It has to be like a force of will. So we spend one more. The one
He needs another one.
and
He needs another creature. It doesn't look at. Maybe
One of them should be
okay,
active.
right, I thought so.
You did a floating green top 3.
Yep, use the floating green, tap 3.
Activate Thracios.
One more Thracios. All of our players really trying to dig and see if they can interact with this very threatening, uncounterable Thoracle.
On stack.
On the stack, says Tanner.
Legolas is quick reflexes. Targeting matches.
Legolas quick reflexes. Split second. Untap a creature. Ristic trigger on top of that. We'll be able to potentially pump this redshift for mana. Paid the 1.
Deal 2 damage to Sculpture.
So you did keep that Noxious Survival? Sure. Did it ever show up?
I got it and I asked what if I could do it, but if you have 3 red pips, 3 blue pips, it doesn't matter if I put 1 back, you know?
Yeah, I've always disagreed with their philosophies.
May I read Elkir real quick?
Bring back Bristleback.
Sorry, just go.
So look like making sure our judges are all over the table, making sure everything is going well.
Oh, thanks. You want that?
Making sure the ward is not forgotten. Redshift was activated for 2 mana and dealt 2 damage.
You mill 1 to 2 cards. But you have no cards in your hand, as well as you have nothing in your deck to get search for.
It's not a Thracios.
I was paid still for Ristic.
And then the 1 for Ristic on the Tybalt's Trickery. Tybalt's Trickery will counter that Thassa's Oracle.
No, this is a good try, though.
Had to try somewhere, right?
That's all. That was like, fuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Was it counter by Tybalt's Trickery? Yeah.
Tybalt's Trickery does have more words, just make sure we...
Reverse Lasso.
Do you still need me to roll? Or no?
No, you don't need to roll. The resolution is
Yeah,
you can
but
mail.
I was like, whatever. I mean, he went for it.
I
tried
guess
to get
there
other
is no
people to use it,
library
but now I
here for for Dustin, so no need to finish the rest of that Devil's Trickery.
That's why we run it. Alright, nothing new coming up.
Oh, yeah, I got nothing.
Turn 4 reverse Thoracle from our Kefka player. Took a group effort to stop that one. Wow, that was tense.
He's throwing the squashers as well.
Watching all of our players really scramble over how to deal with this.
Now the
Yeah,
curse
but you-
totem's gone as well. So.
Yeah, you're in the best position to win this right now.
No, I disagree. The curse totem's gone. He may have something.
Yeah, he could.
And it looks like
this is scary,
8
but
life.
It's actively his turn. He's got a.
So 2 cards kept from Sylvan Library, Bibliotech Sylvestre, if you will.
Force negation over here, though.
That is true.
That stops anything that he has to play that.
It's kind of a creature deck, really.
Yeah, but
Not with that goddamn Umbral Mantle I heard earlier. I'll tell you that much.
He did that to me, bro.
Umbral Mantle I heard earlier, I was like, oh, hell no.
it's not creature.
Let's see how we can buff the Redshift here.
Y'all are good.
Crew a lot of advantage. Seeker Skybreak will need haste in order to go infinite.
Should have.
Good card, dude. The price is so good.
And not Magus, it's a Orochi Leaf Caller. Can filter green into any color. A significantly buffed Redshift plus Staff of Domination or Umbral Mantle will work. But that'll just be a pass to the turn. We'll pass on over to Johnny. Once again, Rog Ishai, bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This is the final turn of the... I think this was turn 5 turn cycle, so...
I mean, now you can tap your rod, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to force this.
Smothering Tide is the cast. Looks like our players are all good with the Smothering Tide coming down.
But, gotta swing it at somebody. Won't you tell me it's better than Birds of Paradise? So, we'll be at you, bro.
How much?
Oh, don't wait, actually. Like, I could kill him. He would be forced to
I mean, you could, but you still would want me to have interaction to deal with him.
I mean, he is scary, right?
I do a lot.
So, yeah, like,
So it looks like a 13-13 bird coming in at Marcus. Across the table.
I'll take this.
And it looks like just taking 13, so that's a two turn clock right there.
Right, we can buy one more time. I'll take one from.
I was hoping a more impactful creature would enter. You guys, creature decks did not.
And draw. Smothering Tide trigger on the stack.
I was like, oh, I can.
Hope everyone's okay with the players being turned up so loud. I want to make sure I get in on this conversation so we know what's happening, what cards are pointed where.
And have a slide.
Along the line here, a player is playing for some good prize money and a play mat, so
I do still more damage, but draw.
looks like no paying for the Smothering Tide. The Ancient Tomb will be the land for turn.
You been getting, is your commander playing? Are you been playing counters?
This is his first draw.
I know, it's whenever you draw.
I'm not sure what Rog Thrast has in hand besides the Lotus Petal and the Force Negation. Force Negation, not adequate backup for the effectively sorcery speed effects, right? On their turn, Force Negation not able to be alternate casted, but Emergent Zone in play. So making 6 off Gaia's Cradle, activate Thrasios, that'll bring it down to 2 floating in the pool. Again, maybe our Rug Thrash player would be more satisfied for waiting until another player's turn to use that Emergent Zone, but maybe just looking for cards in order to make that happen later in the game. So, Smothering Tide trigger on the stack from the draw. Let's see what happens here. See if our players want to pay. I find myself looking over at Tanner's board state, Redshift, bottom right hand corner, and it's a kind of a threatening board state. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, dude. So I got
So paying for the Smothering Tithe, and then making 4 into the pool again, finale for 2.
I pass priority. I can't do anything about that.
I mean, that can go get a Biomancer's Familiar, that can go get a Cloud of Fairies. Can go get a Kinnan. I mean, there's a Bora Breeze Scholar. There's a lot of good 2-drops here.
I'll pay the
There's a world where that happens. It's just
1 is paid.
Now I'm coming over to your house and watching what you do to that corner.
I said Exus 4.
Exus 2.
Or Exus 2.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, but I don't think we can have
I'd love for you to do that. That sounds great.
Yep.
Yeah, he would just give him treasures. You should
Once again, the Hexing Squelcher in play. I mean, this finale could go get Hexing Squelcher.
Massive. No.
You are 100% in the best position.
First turn of the, I believe, turn 6 turn cycle.
I don't think this goes off, or I'll be gonna try.
Into the Flood Maul. Targeting Hexing Squelcher.
I'll be 100%. If he would have bounced the squad, I would have pushed. But he bounced the first totem. I was like, see what happens then.
We'll see. No Force Negation able to be used.
How much,
Like one more check.
oh, so you are
You
going
see
to
what I
offer
would
me?
give it to if he would have bounced the
I
squad.
have no checkers. I have
Oh yes, because you're 1, you're 1,
I mean,
you're 0,
what do you guys
you're
do for a Breeze Scholar?
really get to 12 real fast. Exactly.
I can't let you have it. More Breeze Scholar.
So into the Flood Mob, bounce, Hexing
If I did,
Squelcher,
I would have already gated something to call it a day.
an offer you can't refuse will target
Fucking ish shots, I wouldn't take a bajillion.
Finale of Devastation.
I am gonna offer it though, unless you can tell me you're gonna get something that's just one guy like a Biomancer.
No, I'm gonna get my bridge call. Might as well get it.
Then yeah, I'm gonna offer it.
You got it,
Yeah,
go.
2 checkers.
So 2 treasures over to Marcus.
Yes, I do. He bounced it.
He bounced it, but I mean, he can just cast it.
If he doesn't get another Squelcher, that's what I wanted. If there's no Squelcher, it's copy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Twas a clone.
Once again, another good grab
You get
from Marcus potentially on the Aboro Breeze Collar, but Johnny says no with an offer you can't refuse. 2 treasures to Marcus. Dustin will lose on his turn from drawing from an empty library, so we'll go straight to Tanner effectively.
No, his turn. Specifically this turn.
I don't know. Offer.
Okay.
And I had finale go.
Yeah, that's 3. Why?
Around this track. Sure. I'll pay 2.
Here's 3, 4 for something.
I'll change. She cast.
Oh, 3 mana.
I'll pay 2.
Nothing.
Is that a Rustic Study? That is. Yep.
I'll pass.
Oh, Marcus's own Rustic Study here. Dustin will untap, draw, and die, so we'll go right over to Tanner's turn.
Oh, you died.
Yeah,
Again, Tanner, I think Tanner is in a very interesting spot today, or in this
Yeah, you do. There are 3 types.
in this pod.
Yeah.
I think it would be very easy for Tanner to just almost like untap and just win. Like, oops, I win here. You know, like I would love to see that.
Goddamn, that's what you gamble for.
that's also why I asked about relevant.
There's a world where I actually survive with 1 card back, so it's just
We'll see what Tanner wants to do. Again, we were in the turn 5 turn cycle. Bottom right hand corner of your screen is seat 3, seat 2 out of the game. Redshift, the ability to tap, add X mana of any one color, where X is Redshift's power. So, a card discarded off of Kefka from our Redshift player was a Blood Rush creature. Makes me believe he has another buff spell in hand. Something like Scale Up into Staff of Domination. or anything that can give +3. So a giant growth
That's what I'm looking at, bro.
can definitely just win the game here, which would be very, very cool. I'm trying to think about what else could be in hand. Is there any way for them to just maybe look for something? I'm not sure. Tutor effect, that is.
I'm gonna shit my pants.
It's like gamble and reckless handling are 2 effects. Jessica's will.
Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Each player going to draw off the Jessica's will, turning up our players once again.
Fucking off.
I'll have a title.
You can have a title.
Are you cool, Mark?
I don't think
So,
so, man.
4th treasure.
I'll have both moves and you'll be the target.
Sure, that's 6.
6 cards now. Yeah.
Does it resolve? Control play?
Bro, I have 5 cards. You have 6. My bad.
You have more mana than me right now. It's on you, not on me.
Use my interaction on you, bro.
I mean, if that's how it's going to be for the rest of the game, though, because when you untap, you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to pass to me, and then I'm going to do what I got to do, but you're going to stop me, and then he's going to do whatever he needs to do to win.
I'm pushing right now and go for like another pivot to. I'm good with you.
So he's going Jessica.
Rogishai, good with Justice Will. Rog Thras, also good.
Exile top 3. 1.
Not sure if Johnny has anything in hand for this. Untimely Malfunction, Energy Refractor, Mox Amber. The Exiled. I believe that's Untimely Malfunction. No, I don't think so. Not sure what that card is. I think it's a Prophetic Ravings. Gives a creature haste and tap, discard to draw a card. Ewit.
Sure, buddy.
So no response from either player here. I'm not sure. Force negation in the hand for our Rog Thras player. Sounds like Johnny doesn't have anything.
Sure. I'll draw. You got more mana.
Yep. Choose both ones. How many cards in the hand is it?
8.
8. So we have 10.
So 10 total mana, it sounded like. Welder Automaton, 4 damage, deal 1. Staff. There we go, there's Staff. And there's... Is that another Blood Rush creature? No. So Spike Shot Elder, 1 red, deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So, again, still need to buff.
Situation where you don't necessarily know who I am. I'm not interacting with him. I'm gonna let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do. You have the mana and the cards to
If
do
I
it.
had something, I would have done it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you at all.
I'm aware.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. Like, I just can't believe that you're not drawing cards and you're making mana and you don't have interaction. That's just
So
crazy.
Johnny's saying if he had something, he would have done it.
Fucking wild to me.
Force negation, the only card revealed out of Marcus's hand.
This would be at the point where I would ask for if both of you have drawn some of the cards, I just have to play that.
I'll do it. I'll agree to it.
But there's no way.
I'll agree to it and I'll give you the mat because I feel like there's going to be a situation where, hear me
Oh,
out, right?
maybe
I'll
talking
let you
about
do whatever
drawing
you
here.
wanna do. He untaps, it doesn't do nothing. I goes to me and I go to try to do something and he just stops me.
Because what I'm at right now is I have interaction to get where I need to be to do dominance, get this upward, get this up to at least 5 to do the tap one, and I can just play whatever.
Tanner is right. Tanner does have to go for it here.
Known force negation.
Yeah.
I knew it. I'm calling cat, bro.
Tanner is right. He does have to kind of force the game plan here, but Johnny says if he had something, he would have done it. And Marcus is the only person here representing Counterspell, that known force negation in hand. We'll see what the first spell cast here is. Again, any sort of Blood Rush creature will buff enough. A Giant Growth is going to be good enough here.
To target Redshift with a scale up.
Yep, Scale Up is. Scale Up will certainly work.
Become a 6/4 worm in addition.
Hell yeah, it is.
So, risk 6 study, treasure is shy. Are all the effects here.
We good? Alright.
Scale Up resolves.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I'm not lying. That's pretty impressive.
Mox Amber, 2 cards drawn.
Let's see your response to it. I don't care. I told you. Can I read your your J-Lo cards,
We
please?
got 3 legendaries, baby.
So Johnny, I think, just wants to look at all the cards exiled off of Jessica's will.
Sorry.
Energy Refractor, Staff of Domination,
So good, yeah.
Enchantment Aura, Prophetic Ravings, Automaton, and Spike Shot Elder. So the ability to make infinite mana, then cast either the Spike Shot Elder or the Welder Automaton.
Okay, it's a 6/4, so he can activate for 6 that can be put in the mana abilities, correct?
Yeah.
Activate.
Activated abilities. Do you have any activated abilities on board other than birds, this, and this?
This makes it available that I can just tap this for mana.
Tap for this for mana. Okay.
Regular mana.
Okay. So basically you can have 6 mana. And then Mox
I already have 10 ready.
artifact, are any of these flash?
No, them are flash.
Can he cast these right now with the member on the stack?
No. Well, currently as it sits.
Apparently it's a 6. Is this on scale up? I
Yes.
need to know.
No. This is on Mox Amber.
Yeah, scale up is.
My fault. Mox Amber.
Oh, you gotta try it.
Alright.
Firestorm.
Firestorm,
2, 3.
Soul Ring, City of Brass, Brain Freeze, Mockingbird.
3, 4.
Discarded here, so it's going to deal 4 damage to 4 and 4 targets.
His face. And your command.
Now, Redshift, Tanner directly to his face, Washi Tong, and a 4th target I wasn't able to catch there.
Your priority first. But I'm assuming you're shipping it.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know if I want to ship it to you, though. That's my thing. Like, if I just let you keep going, like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, that's where we're at.
Again, that force negation in hand. I wouldn't say that the force negation necessarily has to be played here on the Firestorm, because the Firestorm does just end the turn for Tanner. He will deal 4 damage to Tanner.
Sure, bro. You figure it. I mean, I have the one. I still only have one interaction. Oh wait, no.
So if Tanner's got something,
I see it.
I was about to say, like,
I see it.
it hurts. It still hurts you.
It takes away my flyer. And I just died headshot. Yeah, no, I saw it. As soon as I set up, I was like, hold up. I'll attempt to force it.
I will have a receipt study trigger.
yeah, it cannot go back to Johnny's turn, is what Marcus just realized, because the Ashai will hit him for final amount of commander damage. So force negation on the Firestorm here.
Didn't have interaction. It's fucking crazy to me.
Disrupting Shoal,
Crazy.
discarding a card. I didn't see what was discarded too cleanly, but
I told you what I had. I had that one interaction. That's it. Can you search? You can search it.
I can do something better.
It'll let me get my one sheet up to live.
maybe a Mirror Maid was discarded, but
I can redirect.
Redirect Lightning. This is a awesome stack that we got going here. So
Risk study, risk study.
2 Ristic Study draws, 1 for each player.
Who's him? Let me find out. Yep. Because if you let me draw, I'll help you back. I'll back you up. Like, that's what this is.
Probably wanting to change Disrupting Shoal, but there's not another valid target on the stack, so it has to counter a spell with 3 CMC. Well, I guess it's counter if. It doesn't have to target a 3 CMC spell.
You can redirect Firestorm and choose up to 4 new targets.
Or redirect Firestorm, I guess.
To make it easier, I'll just show you.
But then he immediately turned around and had a second combo.
Mental Misstep.
Mental on the redirect lightning, paying for the risk of
Mental and redirect lightning, paying for the Ristic Study. Autumn's Veil in response. Wow, this stack is awesome.
Actually, you know what? I'll choose not to draw.
So this will give Tanner the ability to have spells he controls not be countered by blue or black spells, and creatures not be the target of blue or black spells. So that does not necessarily stop Firestorm, but does stop all the counter spell backup of Mental Misstep. Sudden Substitution.
Split second.
Swapping cards and spells. We'll read it. Exchange control of target non-creature spell and target creature. The spell's controller may choose new targets for it.
target your Autumn spell.
So you're going to have an auto test?
I have an Autumn spell.
Not only do I just have a line to get there,
Response.
Wow. Insane rips off the top. Here. 3 counter spells on the stack from Johnny. A Force Negation from Marcus. Veil of Summer. Redirect Lightning from Tanner. Or, correction, Autumn's Veil. Not Veil of Summer, but very similar in effect. So, but this sudden substitution on top of the stack, which will give Johnny the control of Autumn's Veil, currently has split second. I'm not sure how our cast of characters are going to get around this.
There's no reason for me to.
Well, sudden sub is dissolved. I have a Autumn spell on the stack.
Yep, so Autumn's Veil on the stack.
it's the same. Nelson just has the presence. Other decks don't have the presence.
I'll have a mental misstep on the
Blue
radar.
farm trying to build something of a presence.
And
The cards in hand represent.
Mental Misstep on Redirect Lightning resolve. Disrupting Shoal on Force Negation will resolve. Firestorm on everything will resolve. So, Thrasios, Redshift, Wanshitong, and Tanner themselves. 4 damage each. And looks like Johnny will untap and get in there with Ishai, unless there is anything else here that our players can do instead of maybe flashing out a flying blocker. Fey Mastermind was already in the hand and is now exiled from that Force Negation. So, looks like Johnny will take it down again. A huge stack there at the end. 6-7 spells deep for our players. So that was definitely impressive of Tanner to try and pick his spot, of Marcus and Johnny being able to have a bunch of interaction in order to kind of force the issue and take the game into the place where they wanted to control it. But once again, a big congratulations to our winner, Johnny. Congratulations to all of our top 4 players, to include Justin, Tanner, and Marcus. Some very cool interaction, very cool stack here in the finals. So we hope that lived up to the hype. I'm very happy about that. I hope you are too. This has been MindBreak Magic. cEDH Take 2 Electric Boogaloo, coming to you from the Ript Zone in Milledgeville, Georgia. We thank everyone for the support. We thank everyone behind the scenes, all the employees and the owners of Ript Zone, all of our cast of characters helping set this up, people helping us with the camera setup and the recording equipment. We really appreciate everybody here. We cannot express that enough. Once again, final congratulations to Johnny, who will get his play mat here at the end. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll hope to come to you live with another event here in the very near future. But that does it all for me on behalf of everyone at MindBreak Magic cEDH. That is all. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a good rest of the weekend.